Good morning, everyone. I apologize for the delay. The chief guest was running late, but is here now, so we'll begin soon. Another 10 minutes, we should begin. Thank you for your patience. Mic check, mic check. Students, please settle down. Please take your seats. Please keep your phones on the silent mode for the duration of the function. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. We begin this program by me inviting our dignitaries and guests to light the ceremonial lamp of knowledge.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रान्विता या वीणां वरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेत पद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर सरस्वतीं भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा
Thank you so much. May I request everyone to please rise for the national anthem.
या
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Please be seated.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय
Now
हे
call upon
भारत
Chancellor
भाग्य
Hyderabad State
विधाता
National University, Colonel Professor Hemlata Bagla, to kindly give the welcome address and her opening remarks.
Very good morning to all of you. Dear friends, it is both a privilege and a pleasure to welcome you all to this landmark occasion, the launch of the Cyber Vigilance Cell at Hsnc University, Mumbai. This cell is being launched with the support, with the guidance, in association with Agni, and we have convener Agni, Mr. Dinesh Ahir here on the stage. Friends, we take a powerful step today. Once again, we had taken last week, we launched Legal Aid Cell at Hsnc University, and today once again, we are here launching another cell for all of you. This particular step forward which we have taken today, it is not just as an institution, but as a community towards digital responsibility, towards digital safety and awareness. Today, I'm really delighted to this particular occasion, and we have with us on the dais distinguished gathering of esteemed dignitaries whose presence adds meaning and inspiration to this initiative. Let me begin by extending a warmest welcome to our distinguished chief guest, Shri Brijesh Singh, Principal Secretary to the Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Additional Director General of Police. Shri Singh is a dynamic leader who wears many hats, an accomplished IPS officer, a visionary strategist, and a trailblazer in cyber governance. His pioneering work in shaping Maharashtra's cyber security framework has made him one of the most respected voices in the nation. Under his leadership, our state has implemented some of the most progressive and secure digital systems. Sir, we are deeply honored by your presence and support today. A warm welcome to you. We are also privileged to extend our warmest welcome to Advocate Dr. Prashant Maliji, an internationally celebrated expert in cyber law and digital rights. Dr. Mali is not only an advocate at the Supreme Court of India, but also a prolific author, media expert, and trusted advisor to national and international bodies. Dr. Mali's insights into data protection, digital ethics, and cyber policy have helped shape how institutions and governments respond to the fast evolving digital landscape. We are truly grateful to you have this wisdom guiding us today. A warm welcome to you, sir. Thank you for gracing us this morning. It is indeed my great pleasure as well to welcome the distinguished Shri V. Ranganathanji, former Municipal Commissioner of Mumbai and a veteran in the field of governance and public administration. He was also ex-Chief Secretary, Government of Maharashtra. Mr. Ranganathan's remarkable leadership in shaping Mumbai's civic systems and his deep understanding of administrative challenges have left a lasting legacy. His presence today beautifully bridges traditional governance and a modern digital vigilance. A reminder to all of us that strong systems begin with informed citizens online as well as offline. This event is being launched in association with Agni. What is Agni? Agni is Action for Governance and Nation Integrity Foundation, whose commitment over the years has empowered responsible citizens in India, and they align very well with the vision of the cell which we are going to launch today. I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Dinesh Ahir once again, convener Agni, whose dedication and vision have been instrumental in bringing this initiative to life for Hsnc University. I'll be filling in my duties if I do not acknowledge Ms. Prema Iyer sitting in the audience. She is Networking Coordinator for Hsnc University. Thank you, Ms. Prema, for all your help and your guidance. Without you, I think we wouldn't have got connected, and this launch wouldn't have happened. Friends, in today's world, cyber threats are more real than visible. You all have heard this, you have experienced it. In your case, on your friend's case, on your family. You are aware, already cyber-aware citizens. These problems don't announce themselves when they come, they enter you. They quietly enter through your link, through an app, an unsecured Wi-Fi, or a careless click. One wrong move we have witnessed can compromise an identity, a reputation, or even an entire institution. So who's at risk? We all at the same time at risk. Those who are online, those who live online, but often without the right knowledge. Friends, this is why we thought it is very, very important, not just for ourselves, not just for learning, not just for training, but to be ready to help the communities. So service comes first, and we will be able to serve when we are ourselves not ignorant about it. This cyber vigilance cell is so important. It is not just a unit for Hsnc University, but it is a commitment. Commitment by Hsnc faculty, teachers, leaders, and students, along with police officials and the stakeholders. Together, we have to drive this mission and see to it how we are at service, we are offering services through this cell. This cell, as I mentioned, will have its calendar, will have academic drives, awareness drives, technical workshops, student certification programs. Just now I was discussing with Vijay Singh ji, and he said you have to have a certificate program on cyber defense, cyber law, and also AI, Gen AI. And with 5 minutes interaction, I have 3 programs lined up, sir. Not only that, we discussed about the future contribution of Hsnc University so far atomic energy is concerned. Sir, thank you so much, and I assure you with this cell, together, all the distinguished dignitaries who are on the days and off the days, we are together in this. Whatever we start at university is not just by the individual, is by the collective leadership. We have to see that we have collective forums, and you are the takers, you are the ambassadors, and you take it forward. Friends, Hsnc University, we believe that education is the first firewall. Technology will continue to evolve, and so will threats. But if we build a generation of cyber-aware students, volunteers, or ambassadors who know to protect themselves and those around them, we all together are building a society that is stronger, safer, and more resilient. So, my dear friends, let us launch this cell today with the gracious presence of our dignitaries today, and let it be a reminder for all of us that you have to be smart, we all have to be smart, we have to be skilled, and we also have to be cyber safe. This space will begin here, and it is not just to react to threats, but lead the way in creating an ethical and vigilant digital ecosystem, starting from our classrooms to the cloud. Together, I have envisioned to build a future where digital progress is matched by digital prudence. Thank you so much for being part of this. My heartfelt gratitude to distinguished deans who are sitting in the audience, Dr. Tejashree Shanbag, Dean of Science and Technology, also Principal Casey College, Professor Shanbag, and Professor Leena Pujari, who is Dean of Interdisciplinary Studies. We have Dr. Bhagwan Balani, Registrar of Hsnc University, also Principal of Bombay Teachers Training College, Director, Examination and Evaluation, Dr. Jayesh Joglekar. We have Head of the Department, Rajesh Mankani, who will be helping us to take this forward. We have Director Linkages, Dr. Mandeep Kochar. So, and all my dear students, you have to take this mission forward. We will launch today, but after that, I only want to see that what is that how you are taking the baton forward. Thank you once again. Thank you, Tina, for taking this forward, and entire leadership at Backstage. Dr. Pratiksha Kadam, who's Director of Student Development, is also here. When there are so wonderful leaders and there's a collective leadership at HSNC, I think I only have to take the first step, and rest steps will be taken by all of you. Once again, a warm welcome to each one of you. Thank you so much for making this happen at HSNC University. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am. May I now call upon you to kindly felicitate our guests, and we'll follow that by the launch of the HSNC University Cyber Vigilance Cell in association with Action for Good Governance and Networking in India, AGNI. May I request Dr. Leena Pujari to kindly felicitate Ms. Prema Iyer. Thank you so much. May we have the launch? Thank you. May I now call upon our guest of honor, Advocate Dr. Prashant Mali, internationally renowned cyber law and cybersecurity expert, to kindly address the gathering.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming here for this program. And on the dais, Dr. Bagla, father of Maharashtra Cyber Police, my friend Mr. Hsnc, and ever young, both of the others sitting on the dais, Mr. Ahir, and the ex-municipal commissioner. Normally, I start my session by saying that 95% of people who are listening to me are cyber criminals. So you would like to know how? So do you have MP3 songs in your mobile phones? Yes or no? Did you purchase those? Then section 43B, read with section 66 applies. The punishment is only up to 3 years of imprisonment and 5 lakhs of fine. That's data theft. And you may also have movies in your mobile phone, Netflix series, web series, they all constitute data theft. So the issue today, in today's world is, people don't know that a cyber crime has happened on them. Victims don't know that cyber crime has happened on them. Many a times it happens so. So vigilance cells, now I want to congratulate your university that such kind of cell brings in a lot of awareness among citizens. See, the only solution now to fight with cybercrime is awareness. Tools are not helping. Punishing them is also not helping. So, remaining alert is the key to protect yourself from cybercrimes. If you're not alert, see, I'll give you some examples, what are we going to face, okay, with my limited amount of time allotted to me in 10 minutes. Now we are at the age of AI, and banks are happy that they are doing video KYC. You getting the point where I'm going? And now we have AI and deepfakes. So if they say that video KYC is their end thing of doing KYC, then deepfake videos can encounter, your KYC can be made by somebody else, and you can have a lot of loans on your account, which you don't know even. That's already happening. Then if we are tom-tomming about fingerprint being the biometric for our Aadhaar card, then University Department of Chemical Technology, we have UDCT, right? Everybody is aware. Their students had already made with resins fingerprints, and they were marking proxies 4 or 5 years before, not today. And then there are gangs in Meerut and in UP caught who are only doing businesses of making fingerprints. Now, since I showed my fingerprint and somebody is recording, I also want to make you alert. Don't fall prey to palmistry apps. You have a lot of palmistry apps. And why do you fall prey to it? Because free mein milta hai. They write, guess your future free by reading your palm. So what do? Apna palm scan karwate ho. Hota kya hai? Your palm as biometrics has gone, your fingerprint as biometrics has gone. Okay? To make you more alert, if you're putting my hands like this and somebody's clicking you with a high resolution camera, even with that, your fingerprints can be made. That it is. So that a German vice chancellor's fingerprint was made, and using her fingerprint, her password was broken. Okay? So we are at that level of sophistication of cybercrime. Cybercrime is no longer remaining somebody is doing from garages, working out from garage. It's a complete gang sitting in India also, in place called Mewat, or in NCR regions. There are call centers where 400 people are sitting, and in organized way they are trying to loot you. So you are fighting against a huge, big block of people. So it's not very simple, but how you can be saved is remaining aware. You be aware, make your parents aware, your friends aware, help them. Say, now I'll ask you a simple question, and I'll close for the day. How many of you have faced cybercrime? This is what I wanted. I'm 100% sure that some of you must have already faced cybercrime, but you will not raise your hand. Okay? This is what I was expecting. Why? Because it is social orchestration. You will feel, my friend will know that मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ था, मेरा वीडियो लीक हुआ था, मेरा फोटो लीक हुआ था, मेरे बॉयफ्रेंड ने मैसेजेस किए थे वो लीक हुए थे, गर्लफ्रेंड ने किए थे वो लीक हुए थे, इसलिए you are not going to tell anybody. See, today the problem is this. When you face cybercrime, you don't want to share with anybody. You want to constantly bear that pain. So what is my suggestion now? I'm coming to the government is we need to have cybercrime trauma centers. People are losing crores of rupees and they're not able to speak. They're going in depression, mass depression. With small comment on a post for a girl, puts her in depression for life and anxious for life. So we need cybercrime trauma centers along with cybercrime police stations. Okay, so the victim and his family comes out from cybercrime. Okay, so I will request Professor Bagla to the next project could be doing such kind of thing, making cybercrime trauma centers. So today's takeaways: be aware and confide to someone that there is a cybercrime which happened. So mass awareness happens and we will have some kind of solution to fight against cybercrime. Thank you for listening to me patiently. And if you need more information, you can always follow me on my various social media handles on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I'm with ADV Prashant Mali on them. Or you can get a lot of information if you want more on prashantmali.com. Thank you very much for listening to me and thank you for calling me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for making us aware and alert. I would now like to call upon our second guest of honor, Ms. Shri V. Ranganathan, former Bombay Municipal Commissioner, to kindly address the gathering.
Colonel Professor Hemalata Bagla, Vice Chancellor of Hsnc University, and Sri Brijesh Singh, Chief Guest of today's function, who is Principal Secretary to the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, also Director General of Public Relations, and Additional Director General of Police. Advocate Dr. Prashant Mali, Guest of Honor, Sri Dinesh Aher, Convener Agni, and assembled ladies and gentlemen. On this occasion of launch of Cyber Vigilance Cell, jointly by Agni, which stands for Action for Good Governance and Networking India, and Hsnc University, I am really delighted that a subject which has become so critically important is being taken up for setting up a cyber vigilance cell. Any new technology not only presents opportunities, but also creates challenges. When George Stephenson invented the steam engine, there was a lot of apprehension in the minds of the people that these engines will run and crush people and all that. So when the English Parliament passed a law saying that in front of the steam engine, a person should walk with a red flag, warning people not to come on its path. Otherwise, they'll be crushed. So like that, over the last 3 decades, when you find that use of digital technology has become so widespread and it has become so what might be called as a minute-to-minute activity for most of us, it not only provides tremendous opportunities, it also creates its own challenges. And now what we find is the humongous spread of cyber crime is a challenge which you are facing today. Every day in the newspaper, you'll keep on, you find reports, so many cases happen, so many crores of rupees have been lost, and so on. Now then, it is absolutely necessary for every person to become aware of these challenges and to take measures to see that one does not become a victim to these challenges. Now, from that point of view, creation of the cyber awareness cell, I think, is an important and essential step. Now, what do we expect this cyber vigilance cell to do? First and foremost, I think it should create some kind of awareness and knowledge about the use of digital technology so that people take elementary precautions to avoid exploitation by cyber criminals. Now, second thing is that, greed is a common element in human nature. So when suddenly you find that you get this item at 20% discount, you are able to get it at half the price, people get attracted. And this becomes a opportunity for cyber criminals to exploit you. So whenever you find anything which is unusual, I think one should be careful not to fall a prey for it. And many times, the greed combined with urgency. See, a few years ago, somebody rang up my wife saying that they get the information that you are entitled to, you have served in this organization for so many years, you are entitled to get so much as gratuity and all. So you pay this deposit amount of some few thousand rupees, you will get it. Now, and then they will say, this has to be done within the next 1 or 2 hours because you are closing this account. So when this greed is combined with urgency, we become victim. Okay, let me see what happens. Then ultimately you find that this money has been siphoned off and you have got nothing in return. So I think that is one thing we should take care of, greed. And whenever somebody says something is very urgent, we must immediately suspect that there is something wrong with this. Then second thing is, for young children, I think this has also become a big issue. Firstly, many of them getting addicted to pornography, which is freely available. Some of them get addicted to playing cyber games throughout the day, so that entire energy and attention is getting diverted to this. And also, they get into some kind of a, what might be called as undesirable groups. So this is something, and even the very habit of using a cell phone continuously becomes so ingrained. I'll find that even here I'll find some people are using the cell phone, and in the house also you will find generally they say everybody should dine together. But when they're all sitting at the same table, each person is looking at the cell phone and seeing things. There is no conversation taking place. Sometimes even when guests come to your house, you find that the host is busy in the cyber phone. Then the guest also starts using the cell phone, and they start getting this. So the social interaction is something which is getting affected. So these are the kind of habits which have to be ingrained in children from a young age so that they don't get addicted to children. Sometimes I find even babies like 6 months old, 1 year old, they put them to some, they give them some kind of a cartoon thing on a cell phone, so that they say this keeps the child engaged, so the baby does not cry, or he eats his food without making any fuss. So even at the age of 1.5, we are getting people addicted to continuously watching things on the cell phone or on the TV. So these are the kind of things which I think we have to take care of it. Then apart from that, it is also, we have to have certain awareness of what are the laws pertaining to this matter and how we don't fall foul of laws. I mean, people get, in two ways they get into trouble. Firstly, some fake news comes. You believe it is true, and then you get misled. All kinds of fake news gets circulated. Sometimes more photographs are getting circulated. And second thing is, when such a item comes, without checking, we forward it. Then under the law, you also become a person who is liable to prosecution. So these are the things that people have to become aware. I think we are very fortunate that we have persons of the expertise of Mr. Brajesh Singh and Advocate Mali to guide us in this matter. So we do look forward to all of you getting into these issues in depth, understanding, and not only take adequate precautions yourself and in your family, but also guide others so that people don't fall a victim to cyber crime. With these words, I would like to express my happiness and gratitude both to the Hsnc University as well as to Agni for organizing this program of establishing a cyber vigilance cell. With these words, I wish you the best of luck, and whatever assistance I can render, I'll certainly do so. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your deeply insightful understanding of cybercrime, plus just having a critical voice about social media in today's world. I think our students do need to hear that. I would like to now call upon our chief guest, Shri Brajesh Singh, Principal Secretary to the Chief Minister of Maharashtra and Additional Director General of Police in Maharashtra, to kindly address the audience.
Management, faculty, and students of Hsnc University, stalwart of civic and public administration, Ranganathan sir, Ahir ji, my very, very dear friend and fellow cyber yodha, Prashant Mali, though he sometimes, when he works as a defense lawyer, fights from the other side also. And I also met this wonderful superwoman who's a nuclear scientist, your own VC, and I heard that she's always in a startup mode. So if you give her an idea, she's always wanting to execute it, and look at the readiness for new ideas. And I'm really amazed to have met you. In the discussion, we spoke about having cyber courses, courses for AI, the need for reskilling, because the job scenario for you is going to be very different when you go out. And as I say, AI is not going to take your job. Somebody using AI is going to take your job. So why not become that person who uses AI to do a job? So jobs like software coding, to even creative jobs, to writing, everything is being, taken away by generative AI. So we'll need to be ready with those skills which are fit for the market. Now coming to the topic of vigilance. My dear friend Prashant was viral yesterday in the tech community. Why? Because he had an argument with something called Grok Bhai. Have you heard of Grok Bhai? So this bot by Elon Musk, which is called Grok. Now Grok has learned all kinds of Indian galis. And it is unhinged. So if you go on Grok and give it an Indian gali, it gives you back nicely, right? So my dear friend Prashant, in a very civilized way, not with Grok Bhai, but he got into an argument with this, Grok bot. Grok bot is by Elon Musk, and you see what Elon Musk is doing in America. Grok is trying to do something here. Now Prashant basically asked Grok that why does it use certain derogatory terms against our Prime Minister? See, what happens is that these bots are learning from what is being posted. What is being posted is not exactly a mirror of society. It's basically some people wanting to post something, say things vociferously. So it's all that noise which is picked up by these bots, and AI thinks that that is the real world. And Prashant started having this long argument with Grok. Now Grok then turned into a lawyer. and started quoting law to him. It's a wonderful, communication, and I think it's a great exercise in understanding that how digital space, how information space, how law is going to be shaped by AI agents. And see, in defending the information space is essential. Every election we see that there are attacks on democracies. There are armies of bots which are trying to change your opinion. With generative AI today, you can have anything. You can have fake videos, deep fakes, you can have fake audios. There's a company called 11 Labs which can take a 5-second clip of anybody and create that voice. So you can have an entire lecture by somebody by just taking a 5-second clip of them and then giving it a script. It's going to read out in their voice. How many people saw the Lex Friedman interview of PM Modi? It was very popular. One of the most powerful, podcasters of the world, Lex Friedman. Please go and see that. It's a good interview. That was simultaneously broadcast in 9 languages, simultaneously in the voice of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister was speaking in Hindi, but it was available in all languages, available in French, Russian, whatever languages you wanted, in the voice of the Prime Minister as he spoke. So see, this is where technology is going. And coming back to information space, I yesterday wrote a very controversial article. I wrote an article about deconstructing Wikipedia, how it is biased. Because Wikipedia, we think of it as, gospel truth. But Wikipedia gets its sources from a very few people who are primarily white, primarily male, primarily staying in some other country than yours, who do not know anything about your country, and they have an editorial panel which has its own political biases. And from there, though we understand that Wikipedia is something which is, open source, publicly contributed, but their editors go back and edit it back, right? So there are the edit wars going on. So my article is called, Deconstructing Wikipedia, and you may check it. It's on Sunday Guardian. It's a half-page article where I really prove to you how Wikipedia is biased and it's not a neutral source. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because right from information space to your personal information, everything is important. And if India has to grow as a nation and has to take on the leadership on the world stage, then we have to protect our information space to our everything, because everything that you knew has become digital today. Yeah? Your information, your location, your money, your identity, everything is digital. And you have to protect this digital identity. And how do you protect it? It begins with you. The government is doing its own thing. The government has the Office of National Cybersecurity Coordinator. We have a Critical Infrastructure Protection Agency. We have something called CERT-In. We have RBI Cybersecurity Framework. We have National Cybersecurity Policy. We, in fact, have come up with a new Data Protection Act. Have you heard of right to be forgotten, right to erasure? Anybody knows right to be forgotten? Please learn about right to be forgotten. See, all the sites that you use are not free. You are the product. Why should somebody create a whole system which is free? You use WhatsApp, it's free, right? How much it must be costing for WhatsApp to run a large service like this? A large, efficient service like this, it must be costing them so much. Why are they running it? Because you are the product. Why was Facebook started? Because you are the product. It is your data which is then utilized to give you targeted ads to various other things. If you get time, study about something called In-Q-Tel. In-Q-Tel is the venture capital arm of CIA. Have you heard of venture capital firms which give seed money? So In-Q-Tel is the venture capital arm of CIA. Can I tell you one company which In-Q-Tel has created? Google. Right? Imagine this, we don't know this, that the Google was officially started by the CIA. And please Google this information. You'll get it, you'll come to know. So there is a larger, technological governance, and until and unless we do not have our own technology, we are going to be, again, digitally colonized, and we are going to be, again, digital slaves. You look at your phone, you see a lot of apps. I think 90% of the coding must have been done by Indian engineers, but none of the apps, none of the platforms, None of the phones are owned by Indians. Why? Because we have some kind of a demoralization. We think that we are somewhere secondary in the world. That's why, everybody of us, we are trying to speak in some fake accent. Somebody is trying to become an American, somebody is trying to become an Arab. First, become an Indian, right? You don't get so demoralized. Look at China. And as I was talking to Vice Chancellor, Madam, is that this is a great strength that you have here. And I'm really thankful that you've started this, cyber vigilance cell. The strength of China is in its academies, wherein they give real life problems and ask you, bright, fresh minds to solve it. And you guys solve it. Because what other people can't do, you do, because your minds are functioning differently. You have much more latitude of thought. You're bright. And you can utilize all of your productive energies into this kind of nation building. But there's a gap here, because in our country, academia is not solving real problems. It is solving theoretical problems. So I used to be an engineer, and after doing engineering, when I went to field, I looked back and said, man, this is nothing that I learned in college, because it's very different. My dear friend Mali, I think, is an engineer. You're an engineer? MSc Computer Science, right? So whatever you learn is very different from what you do in the field. Hence, it is very essential to do something which is very practical and very pragmatic, which is very related to real world problems. And therein comes industry, academia, and government collaboration. That let us do something where we take real world problems, collaborate with the government, be it about policy, be it about civic issues, be it about cyber security. Let us solve it collaboratively. And I think that has fruits of giving practical experience to your people, as well as building the nation. Lastly, coming to cyber vigilance cell, imagine that the kind of behavior you exhibit online, if you exhibit it in real life. Like, let's say, internet is the information superhighway. Imagine driving a car like you serve the internet. You will not stop at any red lights. You'll try to jump every tolls. You'll put all your private pictures on the bonnet. You'll carry your pets, on the top of the car. You'll never lock your car, right? You'll park it anywhere. And in 5 minutes, there would be chaos. The point of saying this is that vigilance is not just, watching what others do. Vigilance is also being protective about your actions. So half of cybersecurity problems will go away if you are vigilant about yourself, about common sense. Common sense is the most uncommon entity. And hence, basic things like basic cyber hygiene, limiting the kind of information that you post online, being civic, not being abusive. And when you send, let's say, a private picture from one phone to other, it doesn't go from one phone to other. It bounces across all the servers across the world and remains there. The internet is a tattoo, it's going to remain there. Use it responsibly. I congratulate you for this cyber vigilance cell, and I declare it open. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for underlining not just the significance of good governance, but I think also our role as citizens in not just cybercrime, but also AI technology and information. We now have an interactive session where students can ask questions of our guests at the podium. Volunteer, can you just walk around with the mic? Are there any questions for our guests? Sir has a question. Please come ahead. There's a question here.
Hello, Bridget sir. I'm Dr. Jayesh Jogekar. I would like to ask the question, simple question which we face continuously, that why the prices of a grocery online stores are different on Android and on iOS.
I think we both will answer this. Prashant will also answer this question. Because you are the product, sir, and they are profiling you. So I'll tell you something strange about devices. that even if you change your cell, even if you change, even if you change your SIM, even if you change, even if you reboot your system, even if you wipe it, Android gives you a particular ID that's called an ad ID. And that ad ID has been profiling you. It knows what's your spending capacity. And hence, this is a kind of elitism where they know that somebody who's having a phone which is 1.5 lakh rupiya ka will be spending more. Similarly, when you book tickets, sometimes when you try and book tickets, when you do 3 attempts, it starts getting expensive. Go to an incognito browser mode, right? Or change the Wi-Fi, MAC address. Or if you're on Wi-Fi, put the Wi-Fi off and use an incognito mode on browser. And it changes. Because you should stop these services from profiling you. And you have to basically also learn, I was talking about right to erasure. So wherever you've had accounts and you don't want to use them, you should write to those companies and ask for your information, personal information to be erased. Also, if you get time, there are these 9 principles of data protection which have come up in our Data Protection Act, which came from the Puttaswamy judgment, which basically are very simple. Why is this company taking this information? Is it essential for this company to take this information to do its job? For example, a locational service. A locational service can need to know your location, but why does it need to know your purchase habits, or your email ID, or your social media accounts? So similarly, these 9 principles of data protection in the Puttaswamy judgment have delineated as to how data would be used, for what purpose it would be used, what is the data life cycle, how it would be protected, so on and so forth. Now they have been codified in the Data Protection Act. And as digital citizens, it's very essential to know your rights.
I'll add to what Brijesh said. See, it is not only the device which is getting mapped. Every time you scroll, where you are standing, every microseconds the screens gets screenshot, your screenshot is taken. So if you are, you're watching some reel and you're stopping on a reel, then what time it was, which reel you stopped for how many seconds is noted with your permission. You have already given this permission to note. So therefore, you become a product. Next is your microphone is always on. I've been lobbying with government to have, with TRI, etc., that we need to have a hardware button to off this microphone. Abhi bhi, the mobile phone is listening to me. And that's why when you see that when you're talking something with your friends, immediately next moment, the next ad is of whatever you're speaking, or the next reel which has been shown to you is what are you speaking, right? So Google is now listening to you, Insta is listening to you, everybody is listening to you. So there is nothing, privacy is a myth. Remember that. And next, I'll add to what again Brijesh said, that DPDPA is the act, which is the new law. It has made personal data under DPDPA, but even it has failed to include inference data. What is inference data? Inference data is the personality Google has made about you. So your parents may not know you, or your boyfriend may not know what is your personality, or your girlfriend may not know who you are, but Google knows who you are, okay, and how nasty you are. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
There's one more question at the back.
Good morning, sir. My question is about CERSAI. Somebody mentioned CERSAI and CKYC. Last year, I received a message, a series of messages from some insurance provider, probably Reliance General Insurance Company, saying that my CKYC data has been accessed, so and so XXXX. I was stunned because I had nothing to do with that general insurance provider. I was not in Bombay. I was away during Deepavali, and this happened during that time. There was nothing that I could do. I later found out that CERSAI is worse than Aadhaar. Aadhaar is at least protected by OTP, but CERSAI, CKYC, as of now, is unprotected. It's an open database, which means anybody and everybody can access it. So, and this is a detailed record where I stay, my cell number, my email address, like every possible detail is leaked out. And the reason I found out, I was actually stunned, but I later on tried to reason out how they might have possibly uh, texted me, and it was basically one visit to Hinduja Hospital, and there I had given my PAN number, submitted my PAN number, and that's how they sent that text message. Hinduja has acquired Reliance General Insurance Company. So this is something that we need to, probably some action the government needs to take about protecting KYC data, I think.
So I told him because he is government, I am not government. So first of all, I need to congratulate you that you are such a vigilant consumer of any kind of, so it's very good of you. And see, I want to go one step further. It is not only your PAN card or Aadhaar card which has been leaked. Your voice samples have also gone to China. So privacy is already myth. So what best we can do is, when you give such kind of data to such kind of intermediaries, you can always write that this data is given for this purpose only. Okay, so next time you can get some case on them for leaking your data. So if you don't mention that they may take this data. So awareness about privacy in India is all time low. Why? Because we are open culture. अपने यहाँ पे तो हम लोग तो किसी के घर का खाना भी सूंघते हैं, सब क्या बनाया. That kind of culture we have. But still, Brijesh should answer.
Look, I got you free legal advice. Otherwise, he charges a lot. For next time when you go to him, he's going to charge you, just to meet him, he's going to charge you 5 lakh rupees. So, got you free legal advice. But however, there are standards for data protection, even for every, I don't know who runs this service, but whosoever runs this, if you're handling public data, there are standards for data protection for this. And you, as a consumer, also have a right to fight for this. So there is there's a tribunal which is headed by the Principal Secretary IT, and you can go and complain to this tribunal and ask for compensation for your data leakage. So you should do that step. However, what I have also seen is that cybersecurity is not something that once you've built a building, you've put walls, you've put CCTVs and it's secure. It has to be secured every minute. So every minute new vulnerability is coming up. People are finding newer ways to jump that fence and get to your data. And hence, I said eternal vigilance, that you need to have, for cybersecurity, you need to have systems which are updated and where you are continuously analyzing how somebody is trying to breach it. And as Prashant talked about China, depends on who is behind your database. If it's a petty cyber criminal script kiddie, it's a different thing. But if it is a nation state, then they are well resourced and they are something called as an advanced persistent threat. They would have an arsenal of cyber weapons, and it's very, very difficult to protect against them. Good that you told this, because with this feedback only people would be able to improve. So it's essential to report. And if at all you lose money in any cyber scam, sharing OTP, somebody convinces you, gives you a video call saying that they have a broken leg and they are admitted in hospital, and you realize it's fake, call 1930. 1930 is a number which will immediately stop the flight of your money. Because as soon as somebody takes money from you, they break it into 100 parts and it starts jumping across 10 accounts. So when you call 1930, the central government makes it sure that if you call them in time, the flight of money is stopped. Also, you can online complain at cybercrime.gov.in. So for whatever, even for your case, you can, and while complaining, please preserve the evidence. Because let's say something is happening on WhatsApp or Telegram, the other chap may just delete the chat, right? So take screenshots of that. Though Prashant may say screenshots are not an evidence, but you may take screenshots and preserve evidence if you intend to complain. On cybercrime.gov.in, you can also anonymously complain. So do complain, because reporting is very, very essential to improve systems and also to plug any loopholes.
Any other question? This one.
My doubt is regarding Safari and Google. So when you use Safari on iMac or something, it shows you that it has helped you from tracking. So is that true? Is Safari better and safer than Google, or is it just a myth?
So, see, if you are worried about privacy, there are different kinds of browsers. So if you are really, careful about your privacy, then you should use different browsers. Like you can, for search engine, you can go to DuckDuckGo, which does not track you. Or you should start using a Brave browser. Check on and find out which are privacy conscious browsers, privacy conscious services. If you are Googling something, you and your friend, Google the same thing, but you will get different results. Because Google has profiled you over the years. In fact, you can go and check myactivity.google.com, and you would find that all your map tracks of last some years are available. Yeah? There's so much information which a phone stores about you is that you won't understand how much information they have been storing about you. And somewhere you have to get out of the grip of these companies which have made a product out of you. And that is by not allowing them to profile you. Hence, that is why the personal data protection has come. Because you see, if you browse any site from Europe, they give you, even to accept cookies, they will ask you whether you want to accept these cookies or not. But there are much more dangerous technologies. Facebook has something called Pixel. Now the Pixel can cross-track you from the site you're browsing to, if you're making a payment on your mobile, and then take a cut out of that. So these are technologies of tracking, and I think it's important that you be aware and start using anti-tracking technologies. Using browsers which are privacy conscious is a good step.
Any other question?
So, as you were talking about cookies, I was supposed to ask if cookies store our information as well. So, is it okay to accept those cookies, or is it harmful? And if it is harmful, then what we can do to access the site without using the cookies?
See, there is a whole law around cookie and cookie policies in Europe, that's GDPR. So majority of the sites now who serve EU clients, they comply with cookie policies. So wherever you see that this is cookie, you need to accept this, etc. Those are all complying with GDPR related actions. So on those sites, you can be little comfortable. With GDPR law is more stronger than what right now our Indian law is coming, and Indian law is not that aware about, much stronger on the cookies related here. Okay, but as a normal person, cookies accept karke is okay with you. Now they are going to come up with something called as cookie beacons. That is much more dangerous. But they are not going to ask you anything. So every time law prohibits something, tech companies will bring something new. Because ad tech industry, advertisement and technology industry is so big. How big it is? Google is an ad tech company. Rest you can understand, okay? So bring in any law, they'll circumvent around it. But right now, accepting cookies is damn good. Thank you.
What you should do is that every time you complete a browsing session, you can clear cookies and cache, right? So there's an option. Just search for it, how to clear cookies. So you can clear browsing history and you can clear cookies so that they are not profiling you. They are not charging you more for groceries if you're using an iPhone.
Any other questions? There's one here. Please give the mic. Please raise your hand again. Yeah.
Hello, good morning. So I'm from Bombay Teachers Training College. Sorry. So with the limited knowledge of digital arrest that we have, I would like to know about digital arrest more. Like how to be safe from digital arrest.
You know, anybody giving you a video call for digital arrest, ask them to buzz off. Right? Ask them to buzz off. See, even the Prime Minister said this on Mann Ki Baat, that no agency is going to call you on video. And any agency is going to, if at all, let's say you have committed some crime, they're going to contact you through official channels. Nobody is calling you on WhatsApp or on a Zoom call. It's not going to happen. See, this is a particular modus by cyber criminals where they do this classical mental hack, that they are creating an authority figure, they are creating an emergency, they are creating, implication that you have done this, your Aadhaar card has been used for drugs, or your information has been used for, trafficking or money laundering or something like that. They create this fear, they create an authority figure, and then they demand money. So nobody is going to do that. No agency would be stupid to start asking for money on video, right? And asking you to GPay in their own account. So anybody calling you on video for anything like that, ask them to buzz off. That's why, they have also started this caller tune now, that you call anybody, you're getting this message. It's slightly irritating, but it's essential.
Any other question? There's one at the back.
Hello, sir. So my question is like, if we are applying for banks like HDFC and SBI, and after applying that we get scammers call. So my question is like, does the scammers the big companies, they sell our data to the scammers, or the scammers have already hacked in the loopholes and the companies?
See, this hacked is a very loose word, we keep using. When I talk about cybercrime, people like to hear about hacking. So they're not hacked in. Either somebody has leaked the data, their staff, the call center staff which is outsourced, they leak the data majority of the time. And, they infer the data. Inferences like the lady who was talking right now, the student, she said she went to a hospital, gave her data, and then from there, it got leaked, something of that sort. That also happens quite some time. First of all, just to give you an additional knowledge, you can't copy anybody's data. You can't copy, suppose you are in the university and you feel that there's a nice data here, I should copy on your pen drive, data theft. I'll go a little further. India has 3 national keys. You know what are they? Control A, Control C, and Control V. अपना favorite है एकदम. कुछ भी दिखा, copy करो, सब डाल लो. That is also data theft. Okay, but the awareness is so less that people end up in stealing data. I had a client who came to me. He said, "Sir, Birla Insurance has come to me. They have filed an FIR on me. Why? Because I am selling data. What data? I am selling HNI's data. But I am completely innocent, sir. Why? Because I have bought this by paying sales tax. मतलब उन्होंने GST sales tax भर के किसी और से data लिया था, इसलिए he was feeling that it is legal data. Such kind of awareness and misconceptions are there with us. So hence, so much amount of data is in the market.
Okay, there's one more question.
So, extending on my friend's question, companies do tend to sell our data as well. So, you go to a education counseling agency, they might sell your data. So, what laws do we have to protect against selling your data? Could you just explain if possible?
Now DPDP has come up, the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, where all your personal data without your permission cannot be sold. Okay. They will give you consent manager kind of a setup where if you consent, the data can be used. And you can see whether the consent is given, withdrawn, everything can be seen. Wait for some time and you'll have it. Abhi, we have data theft in section 43B, read with 66 of the IT Act, but not that highly implementable as until unless you take an action. Okay, it's not suo moto kind of thing. which is happening. Be positive, things are happening.
Last question, please. Okay, there's one.
Good morning. So my question is that when we have certain apps such as WhatsApps and other messaging apps, so they have a certain feature known as end-to-end encryption. So how effective is that in curbing data theft and data protection as such?
See, end-to-end encryption means that only you and the person, you have the keys to decrypt the data. And you have the keys, you are encrypting and decrypting with your own key, public-private key. Nobody else has access to this data. So there is no man in the middle. Like there is no government, even WhatsApp, they can't find out what is the content of your data, right? However, metadata is available. Like at 2, who were you messaging is available. Or at 3 in the night, who was calling you for how long is available. Metadata of calls, like call detail record is available, but the content of your data is not available until and unless one of the devices is compromised or the devices is put to forensics. Because the decryption keys are on that device. So if one device is obtained, then all the groups and everything, those can be decrypted. Otherwise, it's absolutely secure, and encryption, till you come up with good quantum computers, is very secure, it's not going to be broken.
Thank you.
See, if you're, from the point it is not secure, like your device, if it is not secure, as you rightly said, if your mobile gets hacked, or your mobile is accessible to somebody, already accessible to somebody, then even if you encrypt and send data, it is getting compromised at the sender location or at the receiver location. So these are the two weak points. If it gets compromised here, it is compromised. I want to end up with, continuing with what my friend Brijesh said about Grok. I had actually won that argument. You didn't tell them this. I actually won that argument with Grok. Okay, and yeah, and Grok actually accepted that saying this word for Prime Minister is not a good way of doing it. After I gave him dhamki about a lot of intermediary laws and how it can affect X, Twitter, Elon Musk, aisa bola main usko, he understood. But I also want to tell you the fun part. Next day, my friend gave me a message he's a head legal of BARC, that's the media regulator who does this TRP thing. He said, now it is again saying the same word for Prime Minister. So I again went to Grok and said, what is this word called? And he was calling our Prime Minister Feku. So I asked him, why is this? Why are you again saying this word Feku for our Prime Minister? So he again started giving me same explanation which he gave me one day before. Then I gave him the screenshot which he had agreed to me that he will never call our Prime Minister. So he then again said sorry to me, sorry, oh yeah, I made a mistake and a slip of a tongue and I'll never use this word for you. So now this time what I do is I call my friend and tell him, please put the question again because he's again said that he's not going to say. Now my friend comes and tell me, no, he's again saying the same thing only. So they have made this AI-based chatbot. And see, when I gave him this screenshot that he had agreed, he started thinking, ki I said wrong thing, now I should say. Grok gives you fast answer, like ChatGPT, it gives you immediate answer. But he started thinking what to answer now. So it thinks and answers. So things are really different, okay? So next time, he gave the same answer. So it is customized according to the user. So an answer like Google, one answer to you, one answer to another. Things are happening. And now Google is also an AI-based search engine. It has no longer remained a normal search engine. Okay, so it gives you a lot of AI things before, and then the search results come in. Life would be different, and you need to adapt to AI. AI को दोस्त बनाओ, नहीं बनाया आज ही बनाओ, use करो. Last year, Notebook LM नाम का, I repeat, Notebook LM is a Google's AI which all students should use. Notebook LM, आज जाके ही करो. You can upload all your project files chapters, books, laws, if you're a lawyer, and then ask him questions based on what you have uploaded. So very good for students to do their homework. Okay, thank you.
I would now like to call upon Mr. Dinesh Ahir, trustee and convener of Agni, to give the concluding remarks.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, Mr. Brijesh Singh, who is our chief guest, Mr. Ranganathan, Mr. Prashant Mali, and Hsnc University's Vice Chancellor, Mrs. Bagla. Respected dignitaries, even sitting here in front of us, and my dear friends, student friends. Cyber Vigilance Cell, a concept which was toying, and I was thinking about it for last 1.5 years. How it all started, just let me give you a brief background, and then we'll come to what has been discussed today. Agni, in Agni Action for Good Governance and Networking in India, is an NGO which we have been taking up civic issues, interaction with bureaucrats, bureaucracy, administrative authorities like the BMC, the police, election commission, and also with the elected representatives on various issues concerning the citizens, common citizens. And in that last year or 1.5 years back, we had invited our present Commissioner of Police, Vivek Fansalkar, to one of our meetings. And then the main point which he had cropped up, somebody had asked about the cyber threats and what are the security. He said that in today's world, digital world, cyber crimes are the biggest problem for the police and the authorities. And after that, we have been thinking that really we should be doing something for those cyber threats so that the common citizens, the general public, are not affected. And from that day onwards, I have been reading a lot in newspapers. Every day, virtually every alternate day, I read a news item about cyber fraud which has taken place, and few lakhs, few crores have been siphoned off, especially from the vulnerable citizens, senior citizens, even women, even students and the youth, on various ways. There are various ways, and every time these cyber criminals are coming up with great ideas, new ideas. So this is something led us to the formation of Cyber Vigilance Cell. And fortunately, 1.5 months back or 2 months back, I happened to meet the Vice Chancellor, and she was, as Brijesh Singh said, that you just give an idea and she just catches you. This is what has happened. And we are here, we have launched the Cyber Vigilances. Now, what is the objective? You must have heard all these speakers talking about what are the frauds, cyber frauds which are taking place. Now, the concept of Cyber Vigilance Cell is that there is a lot of progress which has happened in the digital world in the last few years in our country. Along with that, simultaneously, the cyber frauds have also surged. There are millions and millions of dollars which have been siphoned off. Those are only financial scams, but there are other. So there are two aspects to it. One is the financial cyber threat, the other is non-financial. Non-financial would mean blackmailing and all those stuff. And it is necessary for us as citizens, as common man, to know what are the cyber threats. So this cyber vigilance cell, the idea of having a cyber vigilance cell, which is to start with the college students, but to extend it to the community at large. What is the role of cyber vigilance cell which we are planning to have? The role is A cyber vigilance cell will create awareness about the cyber threats. Today you have seen within for even half an hour or 45 minutes, there are so many things which we have learned. Even I was not aware of so many things. So there is a lack of awareness, lack of knowledge. So first of all, it is necessary for us to understand what are the cyber threats, what are the cyber laws prevalent or in the country, and if you are aware of that, what are the best practices which you can take to avoid such threats? Now, what are the best practices? We have seen that there are so many frauds which are taking place. You read it in the papers. The best practices, like I was talking to one of the police officers earlier. He said there are 3 or 4 simple tips. Don't share your OTP, one. Don't share your KYC documents to any unauthorized unless it is for a particular. Do not click on a particular link about which you are not aware. So these are simple things. But if you are aware of it, we will be saved from cyber frauds. So understanding what are the cyber threats, having best practices in our day-to-day life. In case of business, having proper antivirus softwares. Today, the cyber threat has gone to the extent, in the sense it's not just personal privacy, but even business houses are being affected. Banks are being, they have been compromised. And it at times would go to the national threat. So it is important for us to understand the gravity of the problem which is there. And Cyber Vigilance Cell wants to create a sort of awareness by having training workshops, conferences, discussions, public discussions, so that people at large are aware of it. The other thing which we have in mind is to create a cyber advisory cell group. There are many things about which we are not aware. So cyber advisory group will be a think tank where the experts, cyber experts like Prashant Mali, and they will connect with the government officials who are the police especially, so that if there is a collaborative efforts between the citizens, those who are in cyber field, and the police and the authorities, we can, I'm not saying eliminate cyber frauds, but we can at least reduce it. So the proposal is to create a cyber vigilance cell to advocate, that cyber vigilance advisory committee will also advocate and push the government to have adequate reforms in the laws. There are various cyber laws which they have spoken, the earlier speakers have spoken, the Information Technology Act of 2000. But there may be some loopholes, and as the cyber criminals come up with new ideas, we have to be one step ahead of them. And that is what the Cyber Advisory Committee may be able to do or guide us. Also, they may guide about the legal assistance, the legal aid. We also propose to have a separate dedicated helpline for those who are affected with the cyber crime. And a separate helpline in the form of a number and an email ID where citizens and the students can lodge their complaints. One aspect which had come while during our this discussion was about, apart from the community awareness, is the reporting of suspicious activities. What Mr. Prashant Mali has just earlier said in the very beginning, that even when there are cases, even if you have been affected by the cybercrime, you don't go and report because of the so-called social impact on it. So that is something which we need to remove. And reporting of cyber crimes or reporting of suspicious activities can lead us to a better secured place. Then there are various laws which have been enacted, which I don't want to go into details of it. But to cut it short, cybersecurity is not just a government initiative. It has to be a collaborative efforts between the community, between the cyber experts, with the business community, and the government officials. And if we want to reduce cybercrime and build a safer digital India, I think we should be collaborating, doing work in cooperation with each other, and finally, I would say, stay informed, stay secure, and spread awareness. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. It is my honor now to give the vote of thanks. I begin by extending my heartfelt gratitude to our Vice Chancellor, Colonel Professor Hemlata Bagla, who has been at the helm of this much needed and very important initiative. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would also like to thank our Chief Guest, Shri Brijesh Singh Ji, Principal Secretary to the Chief Minister of Maharashtra and Additional Director General of Police for gracing us with his presence this morning. I also thank our guests of honor, Advocate Dr. Prashant Mali and Shri V. Ranganathan for being here this morning with us. Thank you. I thank Mr. Dinesh Ahir, Trustee and Convener of Agni, and Ms. Prema Iyer for all your help. I would also like to thank our registrar, deans, directors, and other university officers present here this morning, our technical staff, and of course, all our students and participants here. Thank you so much. Kindly remain seated and wait while our dignitaries leave the stage. Thank you.
Come this side also. Come, Pratisha. Thank you. And there is a special email ID for this. We'll again send across this circular to all of you. All right? And even the helpline number, so you'll be connected, and we shall connect to the police officers and cybersecurity. Thank you. Sir, it was a joy.
No, it's our pleasure. Really enjoyed this. Very well organized program. And I think.
Thank you. We are going upstairs. We'll have a cup of tea. So just I'll go. Janta ko. हाँ, करो workshop तो.
Both my son and daughter are academics here. My son is a professor of chemistry in IIT Kanpur.
Fantastic. I knew.
He did his MSc from IIT Bombay, integrated MSc, and then
Vice Chancellor, I was with him in London.
then he was in 5 years in Bangkok. He was in Maryland for 3 years as postdoc. Then he had another round of postdoc.
Students, you may quietly leave the audience, leave the auditorium, I mean.
Students from Bombay Teachers Training College, I request you remain seated. Your workshop will take place here only. Students from other classes, they may proceed to their respective floors. Bombay Teachers Training College, remain seated. Thank you. I request the volunteers, if you see the resource person around us, Ms. Dhrupa Khanna, probably she's on the 7th floor. If she is not there, please call her down. And I think, yes, they are there. Thank you so much, Bombay Teachers Training College. Please come, sit in front, and we will have the workshop here only. I hope YouTube is closed now. Thank you. Okay, 15 minutes break. Only 15 minutes break. Washroom break, stretch break, munching outside the auditorium. 15 minutes, please come back. Yes, you can stretch yourselves. Thank you.
फैमिली भाई को भी लेके